This video is presented by Western and Southern Financial Group, a game plan for your financial future. Every great team starts with a strong foundation, and your future should too. With life insurance built like a championship roster, Western and Southern helps protect what matters most so you can focus on winning today while planning for tomorrow. Whether you're just starting out your journey, building your dynasty, or ready to retire like a champion, Western and Southern has the right play for your life stage. Visit westernsouthern.com to get your free life insurance quote today. Western and Southern, built to win. The Seahawks and the Falcons, this game was in Atlanta, but Seattle, it's 37-9. That's not how the game felt. You have a point on this, how it just felt like the second half there was just a levee that broke or an avalanche that started that you couldn't stop. But for a while, this game was at least within striking distance for Atlanta, but obviously that's not how the final score showed up on the scoreboard. The top 5 graded players that we had for the Seattle Seahawks: cornerback Devin Witherspoon with a 95.0 overall grade. Monster in this one. Tight end Nick Callip with a 79.7. Wide receiver Rashid Shaheed, 77.0. Linebacker Drake Thomas, 76.5. Edge rusher Derek Hall, 74.0. Quarterback Sam Darnold with a 72.2 overall grade. On Atlanta's side of things, offensive guard Chris Lindstrom, as he often was, he was their highest graded player with a 77.8. Edge rusher Arnold Ebiketie with a 76.6. Offensive guard Matthew Bergeron, a 71.9. Offensive tackle Elijah Wilkinson, with a 70.2, and then linebacker Divine Diablo with a 68.5. Kirk Cousins in this game, a 62.7. Dalton, South told the story.
As you mentioned, Trevor, this game was 6-6 at halftime. And both defenses playing really well. Jeff Ulbrich getting the blitz packages going on Sam Darnold like we talked about in the preview, right? You know, Seattle kind of looked like, okay, are we concerned now? We got to a point where, are we concerned about their offense? Or should we be a little worried about it? And then Rashid Shaheed decided with the opening kickoff of the second half to house it and just kick the door down, and the rest of the team followed suit. You look at this. You had the touchdown from Shaheed. Then you had 3 more touchdowns and a field goal in between. You had 3 turnovers forced by the defense. Seattle had 8.4 yards per play and an 82 offensive grade in the second half. We've said this more often about the Seahawks in the first half of games, coming out, their first 3 or 4 drives of the game. They just waited 30 minutes to do it instead. And I think the 2 big special teams plays, too, really gave them a lot of energy. Obviously, the Shaheed kick return, and then in the first half, how about the Nicky Manwari blocked field goal, right? I mean, it looked for 30 minutes like we were getting this tight defensive game that could keep the Falcons in it. And then Seattle was just like, no, we're not doing this. And credit Clint Kubiak, because I think they came out early in this game offensively a little more spread out than usual, a little more shotgun than usual, trying to really space out the Falcons so Ulbrich wouldn't attack Darnold so much because they're trying to work around. Again, Atlanta blitzes at the second highest rate in the league.
Yeah, because if you're more condensed and you're under center, it's a little bit easier to do that because you got more bodies in the box.
Right, but they tried to spread it out, and it didn't really work, and I don't think Darnold was reacting to it well. And so they went back in at halftime, and Kubiak, then they ran 2/3 of their plays in the second half from under center. And just get back to the identity. Let's just do what we do. Let's quit screwing around.
Good coaching.
This team is not going to score on us because Kirk Cousins without Drake London is just not going to score on the Seattle defense, right? They're not going to score on us. Plus, they got the Shaheed kick return that gave them a lead, which probably helped. But Kubiak went in at halftime, I think, and said, listen, we're going to run our stuff. We're going to get under center. We're going to get in 12. We're going to run some zone. We're going to get Darnold going in play action. We're going to leave 6 or 7 in protection in case the blitzes are coming. And we're going to do what we usually do. And it's almost like it was kind of flipped, where it was just like what's usually their opening identity first half game plan. They didn't save it. I don't think they saved it. I think they came out more spread out with a purpose because they were worried about these blitzes. And then they just said, you know what? Screw it. We're better. Let's just do what we do and be better than them. And that's really what happened in the second half.
Yeah. Stat that told the story for me was the Falcons on third down. They were 1 for 13. 45.5% of their third down passes came short of the sticks. I went back and I watched all of the third down attempts from them. It's just not dynamic with Kirk. I mean, like, you know, when you have a third down with this team, you're basically just playing sticks coverage. Like, he's not going to throw it over top of you. You know, when you at least have Michael Penix, there's at least a threat, right? Where if you have all of your eyes towards the first down marker, he can hit you over the top. And that's when you can't do that when you have a quarterback who has those capabilities. And Kirk Cousins, he's not that type of a quarterback. So what I saw in this game was the first downs that they did get, they were barely getting them. It's not a lot of like, okay, you cleared this first down by 3 or 4 yards, or this is a good yards after catch opportunity, or this is a big play over the top on third down, or whatever. It was a lot of stuff that was short of the sticks. It was dependent on yards after catch opportunities, and when they were getting first down, they were barely getting first down. So I think it's just what you said. It's the quarterback change, not having as live of an arm as Penix has. I have Drake London in this one, and it's just going to be hard to win, especially when you're playing a good Seattle Seahawks team. Most impressive was Devon Witherspoon. I felt like he was all over the place in this game. He was locked down. He was so impactful. I believe it was pass rush, run defense, coverage grades, all above 78. So it was just a monster all-around game from him. He had a couple of those when he was at Illinois, which gave you a lot of faith in him being a really good pro in the NFL, and he's been able to translate that pretty well. Most disappointing for me, I'll just kind of rattle off all my notes here. A.J. Terrell, the corner for the Atlanta Falcons, I thought he had a rough game. Now, obviously, everybody who guards Jackson Smith-Njigba has a rough week. We've seen this season, but 30.0 overall grade, and specifically the run defense stuff when we got into the second half was disappointing. I mean, there was that one over the middle. I think it was just like an over route where Smith-Njigba was just cutting to the inside. He catches the football, and Terrell allows the catch, but then he has an opportunity to tackle Smith-Njigba, and the tackle attempt was like, he didn't really care. And Smith-Njigba runs past him, wasn't really a good tackle attempt. Smith-Njigba scores.
Oh, and that's when Xavier Watts had the bad angle too, right?
Yes,
yeah,
and when he had the bad angle as well. And he didn't have a good angle, but Terrell could have got a lot more on Smith-Njigba, and he just didn't. And I think at that point of the game, I think the Falcons overall were just like, all right.
It felt like on both sides when Rashid Shaheed, when he housed the opening kickoff in the second half, that it just all of a sudden was like, we're back here now.
Right.
Where this is just like, this is Seattle and this is Atlanta. No, for sure. Witherspoon, like you said, just a monster. Interception, pass breakup that leads to another interception from Eamon Wari, 2 run stops. I mean, I've said it before. I mean, coverage is obviously outstanding, but he's a linebacker in a corner's body. Man, the level of aggression is just it's so much fun to watch with him. Just this Seattle defense, it really embodies their entire defense, just how aggressive they are. So took them a while, but they played a great game. They get out with an easy win.